Good morning students, welcome back to online classes. I am a biology teacher. So today we shall discuss under the chapter our environment, that is lesson 15. Under this chapter we have already discussed biomagnification. Today we will discuss the effect that is caused due to the human activities. So second effect, that is ozone depletion. So what is ozone and how it is depleted and what is the effect of that we'll discuss in this video today. So first let us see where the ozone is present in our atmosphere. So first we'll discuss about the layer of the ozone, where it is present in our atmosphere. So first, if you take Earth, atmosphere has different layers. So if you take from the surface 0 to 10 kilometer, you have a layer of atmosphere that is called the troposphere. First layer above the earth's surface, that is called the troposphere. Then from 11 to 50 kilometer, 11 kilometer to 50 kilometer, you have the second layer, that is called the stratosphere. Then we have the third layer, that is 50 to 80 kilometer. We have mesosphere. Then we have the thermosphere up to 400 kilometer. Then 400 to 3000. You have the another one, that is exosphere. These are the different layers of atmosphere. So the ozone layer is present in the lower part of the stratosphere. So this is the stratosphere, the second layer. So it is present from 15 kilometer to 30 kilometer. 15 to 30 kilometer we have a layer of ozone, that is called the ozonosphere. Ozonosphere. That is also called the ozone layer. Okay. Now let us see what is present in the ozone layer. Now ozone is an isotope of oxygen. It is an isotope of oxygen. Isotope of oxygen. What it is? O3. It has 3 atoms of oxygen. 3 atoms of oxygen is present. This ozone is poisonous. It is poisonous in nature because if it is inhaled, it causes irritation in the throat, irritation of the lungs or asthma, okay, breathing problem. So it can choke our lungs and it can cause asthma and emphysema. So it is an actually poisonous gas. But this ozone, it plays very important role. As it is present in the stratosphere in the form of O3, it has a very important characteristic. This ozone, it helps to absorb the ultraviolet rays. So as it absorbs the ultraviolet rays, it does not allow the ultraviolet radiation to enter the surface of the earth. So it acts as a protective layer. This ozone layer, it acts as a protective layer. It acts as an umbrella. Ozone layer acts as an umbrella and protects all the forms of life on earth from UV radiations, mainly UVB, which is very very harmful. Ultraviolet B radiation. A, B, C, you have many types of ultraviolet radiation. So this ultraviolet radiations which is coming from the sun, it is very harmful. So this ozone layer which is present in the stratosphere layer, lower surface, that is 15 to 30 kilometer, it acts as an umbrella above the earth's surface. So it does not allow the ultraviolet radiations to enter the earth's surface, and it protects the organisms, living organisms, from the ultraviolet radiations, from the effect of the ultraviolet radiations. So here in the stratosphere, how the ozone is formed. Now let us see how the ozone is formed in the stratosphere layer. Ozone formation. Now let us see ozone formation. Ozone formation in stratosphere layer. So here in the stratosphere layer, due to the action of UV radiation, due to lightning or thunder, this ozone formation, it varies from season to season. During rainy season, the ozone are formed more because lightning and thunder, it helps to produce more ozone, whereas the ozone level reduces naturally in the winter or summer season. Okay, because there is no thunder, no lightning. So lightning and thunder increases the ozone in the atmosphere, in the stratosphere level. So here what happens? This ultraviolet radiations that is coming from the sun, this breaks the oxygen. Oxygen is, which is having one molecule of oxygen, which is having two atoms, it is broken down into O plus O. That is broken down into single carbon atom, and this is called nascent oxygen, and it is very reactive. As it is highly reactive, what happens? This again combines with another O2. Now this O2 combines with O in the presence of ultraviolet radiation, and it forms O3. This is the ozone. Clear? This ozone again, naturally, there is a reversible reaction also. Ozone is also broken down into O2 and O. Clear? So every time in the stratosphere, naturally the ozone is formed, again it is depleted and it forms O2 and O, again the ozone. So the level of ozone is maintained naturally in the stratosphere level. Every time the ozone will be formed, again it will be depleted, again it will form. It is natural process in the stratosphere layer because of the action of the ultraviolet radiation. So naturally, if we see, the ozone layer remains same. The level of the ozone remains same because it is depleted and again it is formation. How much is formed? That much is depleted, again it is formed naturally. But the problem arises when, because of the human activities, we human beings, because of our activities, we are causing harm to the ozone layer. So how the harm is caused, and what are the substances that cause harm to the ozone? Now let us discuss that. Now the substances or the materials which causes ozone depletion, that is called ozone depleting substances. It is also called ODS, ozone depleting substance. Now let us see what are the ozone depleting substances. Under that, main you have chlorofluorocarbons. CFCs are the main, that is chlorofluorocarbons. Clear? Second you have HCFCs, hydrochlorofluorocarbons. Other than this, halogens substances which are used in fire extinguisher. Used in fire extinguishers. This also, halogens, they also deplete the ozone. Chlorofluorocarbon and hydrochlorocarbon, they are used as refrigerants. Refrigerants or coolants. They are used as refrigerants and coolants. That is, they are used in the refrigerator and the fridges. Okay, AC and fridge they are used for the cooling purposes. But the characteristic of these gases which made them so useful, that is that they are very stable in nature and they have the cooling effect. For that reason, it is used by the human beings. Okay. Now, other than this, methyl bromide, then you have carbon tetrachloride, methyl chloroform, etc. These are the different substances which are considered as ozone depleting substances. These substances, most of them are used as coolants in the refrigerator, in the AC. Some are used in the fertilizers, okay, and some are used in pesticides. Some are also used as aerosols, as propellants, and some are used as cleansing agent, and some are even used to sterilize, for sterilization. Okay, some of them are used in as a dry cleaning agent. So these are the different substances which are used for different purposes. So this substances, out of this, maximum depletion was caused by CFCs. So chlorofluorocarbon, when it was observed in 1980. In 1980, it was observed that by the NASA. By NASA, it was observed that 1970 to 1980. In 1980, it was observed by NASA that the ozone layer is depleting, or there is a hole has appeared on the, first it was observed that hole appeared on the Antarctica. And the Arctic region. Antarctica and Arctic. Maximum was found in the Antarctica region, which is present in the South Pole. Here, the depletion of the ozone was mainly because of the polar stratospheric clouds, which increased the depletion of the ozone. Okay, so very huge depletion was found above the Antarctica region, and Arctic region there was also hole seen, but as compared to Arctic region, Antarctica, the layer of thinning of the ozone was maximum in Antarctica region. Okay, or you can say the ozone was depleted maximum over the Antarctica region than the Arctic region. That is, main reason was because of the very low temperature and the polar stratospheric clouds, and the use of this ozone depleting substances. Okay, in which the main substance which causes the depletion was found that it was chlorine. Chlorine was found to be the most depleting agent. Even now, these gases which are released, as they are stable, they enter the stratosphere, and still now this chlorine atom is present in the stratosphere layer, and it is still depleting the ozone. Now let us see how the chlorine atom is depleting the ozone. So for example, if we take fluoromethane. That is 3 atoms of chlorine. This substance. Here what happened? Due to the action of the ultraviolet radiation, UV rays. Due to the UV rays, this was dissociated. And when the chlorine atom was dissociated, it acted as a catalyst. This chlorine atom, free chlorine atom that was released from the trichlorofluoromethane, which is a CFC gas. So this chlorine atom which was released, what it did? It combined with the O3, and in the presence of ultraviolet rays, what happened? Chlorine, it took one oxygen atom from ozone here. So it converted into chlorine oxide and one atom of oxygen, which had one molecule of oxygen having two atoms here, O2. O2 was formed. Here the chlorine oxide, what it did again? It could again react with the ozone, and what it did? Again it formed chlorine plus 2 O2. 3 plus 1, 4 atoms of oxygen here, and the chlorine again it became free. So you can see here one chlorine atom can deplete 2 atoms at a time, and again the chlorine becomes free. So again the process continues. So one chlorine atom can dissociate 1 lakh ozone molecule, or you can say one chlorine atom can, before it depletes, before one chlorine atom can break 1 lakh of ozone substance. Okay, and it leads, this is the reason why it is causing so much harm to our ozone layer. As a result of this chlorine activity as a catalyst, and as it is not, before it exhausts or before it is finished, this chlorine atom, one chlorine atom can break 1 lakhs of ozone isotope of oxygen. Okay, so as a result of that, the ozone is depleting day by day, and as already we have, because of the human activities, we have released a huge amount of chlorine in the atmosphere. So gradually all the time this depletion process is continuing. Now the scientists, they are doing some research so that they can invent some substance which will react with this chlorine which is present in the stratosphere, and it can be controlled. So now the countries, when they saw, when the NASA released the picture of the ozone hole that was found in the Antarctica and Arctic, all the countries now they became conscious. So the countries now, they had a meeting first in Vienna. First they had a conference in Vienna in 1985. Later on, here in Vienna, they sat regarding they discussed regarding the ozone layer depletion. Then in Montreal, which is in Canada, in Montreal, a protocol was signed. That is called Montreal Protocol. In which year? In 1987. So this was a very important event. In Canada, at least 43 countries first they came, and they had a meeting, and they signed on a treaty that is called Montreal Protocol. Here these countries, they signed, and they considered that now they all agreed, all these 43 countries for the first time they agreed to freeze the CFC gases. What does it mean? That they would not further produce chlorofluorocarbons, and completely they decided to ban this chlorofluorocarbon in their country. So now they decided to freeze chlorofluorocarbon at 1986 level. 1986, whatever substance was produced after that, they decided not to produce any more chlorofluorocarbons. Okay, which was the main cause of the ozone depletion. So in this, the countries later on it became effective in 1989. It became effective. It was signed in 1987, but it came into effect in 1989. After that, the developed countries, they stopped totally the production of CFC, and the developing countries also, whatever was produced after that, they did not produce the chlorofluorocarbons. So now they decided to replace, and whatever substances that was causing ozone depletion, now gradually they had a meeting after few years. So this Montreal Protocol was signed under United Nations Environmental Program, UNEP, that is United Nations Environmental Program. Okay, so this is how it is controlled. Now let us see what are the effects of the ozone depletion, or what is the effect or what problems can arise if the ultraviolet radiation enters the earth's surface. Now let us discuss the effect of the ozone layer depletion. What it causes. Now, effects of ozone depletion. This ozone depletion in animals, including humans, it causes DNA, it causes mutation in the DNA. It causes a change in the DNA because it is easily absorbed by the DNA. So it causes mutation, and it can also cause cancer. So mainly in human beings, it leads to skin cancer. Skin cancer in human. Okay. Then inflammation on the skin, that also is caused. Then cataract. Cataract is also caused due to ultraviolet radiations. Then blindness, sometimes retinal diseases, or one kind of blindness that is called snow blindness. Snow blindness can be caused due to this ultraviolet radiation. Other than this ultraviolet radiation, when it enters, it also affects the. Now let us see what it does on the plants. In plants, it affects the process of photosynthesis. Photosynthesis in plants. So you can just imagine what will be the condition. So it also affects the DNA and causes mutation in plants also. Then growth and development is hampered. Growth and development of plant is affected. It means the plants will not be able to grow properly. Then this plant they will not be able to this crop field, or you can say the crop yield will be affected. Crop yield affected, and the forest also. Forest growth reduces, because when the photosynthesis is affected, then it is going to reduce the forest growth also, crop yield also, so it affects a lot. So not only this, it also affects the non-living things. It degrades the chemical characteristic of the non-living things also. Okay, it affects aquatic animals also. It inhibits the mobility of the zooplanktons and the photosynthesis that is taking place in the phytoplankton. So ultimately it affects the all the ecosystem, terrestrial also and the aquatic also. So ozone is very important. Depletion of the ozone is going to affect the ecosystem very badly. So we need to control the human activities and use CFC. Should not use the CFC substances which is having the CFC materials. And we have to be very careful when we do the servicing of the fridge and the ACs. Thank you.